Hello and welcome to Markets in Focus from MarketsMadeClear.com. I want to make this short video as there's a few markets that are of interest this weekend. TradeSeeker has brought to my attention, so I'm just going to have a quick look at those markets with you. So we're just going to jump straight into TradeSeeker. Okay, so I've been through the extremes already. There's a few markets that are of interest here, and particularly Aussie dollar. The non-commercial short positions at an all-time high. That's of interest, as we can see the commercials aren't buying the extreme on the other side, so that's looking quite bearish. So that was my first trigger to look at the Aussie dollar. Within cut charts, after having a look at the percentage change, Japanese yen has come to my attention for the big increase in the commercial short positions, 97% change from week to week. So they've had a big accumulation of shorts on yen this week. So that's the second market that's been brought to my attention. And the third is Palladium. We can see in the commercials we're at extremes in all three look-back periods, which is a bullish signal, and also in the seasonality for September is bullish. And actually, we typically get a low in August in Palladium, which kicks off the start of its seasonal period, which runs through until the end of the year, actually, which really kicks into gear through October and November. So we're going to have a look at that as well. Okay, so those three markets. Let's just have a start with Australian dollar. So as I was saying, the extremes brought to my attention. The non-commercials are extreme short. You see where we have been in a nice downtrend. We've had a couple of nice pullbacks for tradable entries. We had when the commercials got extreme long here, but we can see we're not getting back into that territory just yet. We're getting quite high. You typically see we need to push in towards the 100 before we actually get that reversal to kick in, as history has shown us. So let's just bring up the non-commercial positions. Clearly, interesting one. It's looking more bearish still for the Aussie dollar. We can see if I just click on here and turn the long and the net positions off, so we can get a good look at the shorts. So we can see this is why we're getting an all-time high alert in the extremes tab. This is the measurement of the short contracts, and we see we're pushing up into an all-time high. If we just go back, we see the all-time data. This is why we're getting that alert in the extremes. All-time high number of short positions from the non-commercials, so they're very, very bearish, and they're looking for a continuation of this downtrend. And if we compare that to the commercial positions, if we were looking for the long, we'd be expecting extreme buying from commercials, but we aren't seeing that just yet. We aren't seeing, if I just turn off the net and the short, and this, now we can see the commercial buying and the non-commercial selling. We can see why the non-commercial selling is pushed up to new highs. The commercial buying is not. So that's telling me that the non-commercials are still in control of this, and I'm expecting Aussie dollar to continue moving lower. Either way, I'm definitely not looking to buy this market, but if a setup comes, I will be looking to sell. Okay. Second market is Japanese yen. As I was saying, we've been moving sideways. Now we can see on the weekly chart. We'll zoom in a little bit. We did have a little push higher, but a big high test last week. We can see the commercials starting to get into bearish territory. Commercials starting to get into bearish territory. We just changed to a commercial index. It just fits price action a little bit better. We can see the oscillations work better in the smaller look-back period in yen, which you'll find different markets operate within different cycles. So changing that look-back period really helps you gives better understanding and perspective on that market. But yeah, the commercials are starting to push down into bearish territory, big high test, and we can see, we know from the percentage change that the commercial positions. Actually, just bring up the percentage change, short percentage change. There we go. actually, yeah. And there's the percentage change that we'd seen on the table, 97%. Big spike higher, and that's why we can see the drop down in the index. And we're looking there now for continuation short in this market. Sorry, I'll just bring up now the actual positions so you can put that into perspective. Commercial positions. So we know the short has seen a big increase. And that's exactly what we can see here in the red line. Again, I'll just turn off the net and the short so you can get a better look at it. There's the reason for this increase. Huge increase in short positions, which has driven this percentage change, and also the big drop on the index. So commercials have got very bearish. They've seen this spike higher as an opportunity to sell more, and they've taken it with both hands. So we're looking at this to push lower. So this is yen continue to the downside, which for you currency traders will be dollar yen long. And then if you traders out there who look at correlations in markets, you know that the dollar yen and the stock markets, especially the US stock markets, quite often move together quite well. So if we're looking for dollar yen to continue short, we're expecting stocks to resume their uptrend, which is the way their correlation works. And we can see commercials getting very bullish on the Dow. Big rejection, price action. Commercials are up at 100% in all three of the look-back periods, and we see exactly the same in the Nasdaq, except just there we've had 100% in both the 18 and the 6, and we're just slightly off it in the 36. So we get big, again, price action, big rejection of that level. So that's looking interesting. I like to see those correlations in those markets. So stocks are looking bullish again. Commercials are getting very bullish in stocks and bearish in yen. So I like that correlation. And the last market of interest is Palladium. Technical wise, everything technical and conditions wise from the commercials, everything's nice in Palladium. Technically, we have a really nice level down here. We've seen a big rejection, what was previous resistance way back in the early 2000s. We now see nice support through here and here, with big rejection in last week's candle, pushing into the 100% zone again, which we've seen nice rallies kick off from in the past. Again, we'll take a quick look at the commercial positions of what's been driving this index. Palladium commercial positions. We can see again, we just turn off the net, gives a bit more perspective, and actually we'll just turn off the short as well. We can see the commercial buying had a big spike over the last few weeks, so we've seen price drop. So if we dropped into this level, the commercials took it as a time to accumulation of their long contracts as we approach this level, back into the sort of areas or the levels of buying that we've seen strong momentum to the upside in the past. I just put that into perspective as well with the selling. We can see during this drop that the commercials have just they've lost interest in selling. They're not selling the volume of contracts. There's no value in them actually selling at this price. So that's they believe it's undervalued, and they're not willing to sell as much as any more than what they really need to. So the conditions are set nicely there for a rally in Palladium. We've got a nice technical setup as well with price action on level. So that's a nice, interesting market. So just in recap, Aussie dollar expecting a continuation short. Definitely not looking to buy just yet. So yeah, looking for possible shorts if price action gives a setup. Yen continue short, which would be linking to stocks resuming their uptrend, and then, as I was just saying, Palladium looking for an entry to get long. Okay, so there are a few markets that are of interest. These are what's on my watch list, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on as in the coming days and weeks.